Previously on Bleach. Mask goes down, then he comes back up, and then James goes down, and he comes back up. And then you wash, rinse, and repeat that maybe about 2 more times, and you basically got the last 4 chapters. Also Renji shows up, and he does this with his sword. Whatever that was. That's a pretty accurate summation of the last couple chapters. Yeah, sure. Totally. Hey everybody, Tekking101 here to talk about Bleach chapter 564! Red Bristled Kings, bitch. Okay, so chapter continues with Maste Masculine, Star, Flash, Supernova pretty much nuking the majority of the entire Vendante as James is pretty much incinerated below him, and I kind of assumed this from last chapter. I'm like, wait, that blast radius is pretty damn huge. I mean, I'm pretty sure James is going to get caught up in that. And so Maste Masculine's just up there in the air, and he's looking down, and he's just like, just ignore that blinding pain you're experiencing right now, James, because as long as I'm alive, no matter what condition you're in, even if you're completely incinerated at a molecular level, you will eventually come back, my dear fans. So pretty much confirmed what I assumed. I mean, they didn't really expressly say that it's an extension of his power, but he basically said, yeah, James is not really a Quincy, he's not a Hollow, he's not a Shinigami, he's just Maste Masculine's power, or Ryatsu, like clustered together to form a human form, because his whole basis of his power is that he needs somebody around to shout for him and cheer him on, so it would make sense why something like James would be created. But yeah, if you want an example, it's kind of like a Rava Vatu thing from Avatar Legend of Korra. It doesn't matter if one is completely obliterated, it will eventually come back in some form. Mask looks down to see, I don't know what he was expecting to find, Renji. If Renji would have been defeated by that attack, I'm pretty sure there would be nothing of the dude left. But instead he spots the mysterious snake skeleton emerging from the smoke that we saw last chapter that Renji was wielding, and I didn't mention it because honestly I couldn't really tell with the, I mean, it's kind of obvious if you really look at it, I mean, the panel right here, but originally when I saw that, I'm just like, I didn't really notice the snake head behind, Renji's hand. I just thought it was like a brand new sword or something. So anyway, this skeleton apparently is the new form of Renji's Bankai, and Renji kind of like takes it and like another sword extends from outward from it, like from its mouth that he's wielding in his hand. The snake skull is basically kind of like a gauntlet he's wearing, essentially. And Mask is a little bit confused by that, because he's just like, what are you talking about? Is this your Bankai that you used at your last, moment of desperation? That's so sad. And, he's even more surprised by the appearance of the sword from the snake skeleton, because he's like, wait, your Bankai can change form like that? That's so strange. Even though, we've seen other Bankai change forms. I mean, not just, like Komamura's recent change with his Tokujo Tengen Mio Dangaijo. We've also seen, look at Mayori's. I mean, maybe not a good example, because Mayori's is always screwing around with his Zanpaktou, but, Konjiki Yashisogi Jizo takes the form of, like, that caterpillar baby head Buddhism-looking thing, but it can also, extend swords out of its body. I mean, all Renji's doing right here is just, taking the snake skeleton and then a sword's coming out from it. I mean, Maste Masculine has never seen Renji's former Bankai, right? So, I mean, I'm pretty sure he has, and I'm pretty sure Renji hasn't even used his Bankai since before the time skip, so obviously he wouldn't know what it looks like beforehand, so I don't know why Mask is so surprised, like, oh my god, a sword's coming out of your snake skeleton Bankai head? That just blows me the fuck away. I mean, I just fought a guy not 1 hour ago that had the ability to summon waves and fire out of nowhere using weird marionettes, but yeah, this is the thing that really shocks me. We have a flashback going back to the when Renji was in the Soul Palace at the 5th Palace, Ichibe's, the one with the eyeball monk dude, the member of the Zero Squad, and he's questioning Hihio Zabimaru, and he's looking at Renji's sword, and he's saying, sorry to break it to you there, bro, but yeah, this sword, it's not named Hihio Zabimaru, at least the Bankai isn't anyway. And Renji's looking on at this with like shock and awe. He's like, wait a second, what are you talking about? I've been fighting with Zabimaru, ever since I can remember, for like hundreds of years. What are you talking about? Hihio Zabimaru isn't its actual Bankai name. And, Ichibe is just like, well, I shouldn't say it isn't its name, but it's only half of its name, or it's only part of the name. Basically, you've just been deceived from your sword, because I guess the sword doesn't think you're worthy as a warrior enough to receive its full Bankai name. And Renji's even more, surprised by this, all this crap he went through, and all the battles he fought with Zabimaru, and basically Zabimaru's been lying to him the entire time about what its real Bankai name is. And, okay, let me just say one thing right now. This arc is doing a great job job, I mean a fantastic job, at just taking the Zanpaktou Tales arc and just ramming it right up Muramasa's asshole. Because, I mean, I understand it was filler. I really do. I understand Zanpaktou Tales was filler. But it was like the one we look at that was the least filler, or had the most canonicity in it, because Kubo designed the Zanpaktou spirit. So it's like, oh yeah, this is Ichigo's real Zanpaktou spirit that Muramasa takes control of. Wrong! Oh look, it's Zabimaru, and he's using his Bankai, so therefore that's his real Bankai, right? Wrong! Oh yeah, I mean, I really shouldn't even be complaining about it, because once again, it was filler, but I'm just like, man, dude. Just one thing after another, right? Alright, well, Ichibei says not... Anyway, Ichibei tells Renji not to fret, because even though Zabimaru told Renji the wrong name, he actually knows the real name, because here's the big reveal of what Ichibei did, the big invention, the reason that he is a member of the Zero Squad, and that is because the Soul King himself entrusted Ichibei, the Eyeball Monk, to name things. The name the Zanpaktou, the swords, as well as the Shikai, the Bankai, as well as naming every single thing in the Soul Society. Huh. Anyone else feel that he kind of got the shaft on the selection here? I mean, Soul King, divine creator of everything in known existence in the Soul Society. You, Kiryo Heikefune, you have created the most amazing invention of the Gikongon. You can separate the soul from the body, and you can have an artificial body in order for the Soul Reaper to go into the world of the living. You, Nimayo Otso, have created the ultimate of battle weaponry. A sword being able to change its shape and form, having its own soul in it to communicate with the Shinigami and strengthen their power tenfold. You, Korinji, you did some shit with healing. Shutara, you can make a kick-ass kimono. And Ichibei, oh, yeah, shit, oh, hey, you want to give names to all that crap? Okay, we're awesome, bro. Gonna go get some Sweet Frog. I mean, I understand, it's really important, you know, things kind of need to have names, but my question here is, and this is also the reason why I was complaining about the Zanpaktou Tales arc thing, is that he says, okay, not only have I named, you know, actually gave the name Zanpaktou to the sword, not only have I named the Soul Society, I'm assuming he named, like, the Seirete, the Rukongai, you know, maybe he named Ryatsu, maybe he named the what's that place, the tower Rukia was held in, not Sokyoku, it was Senzai-Kyu. I mean, maybe he named all those places. Okay. Here's the thing, though. He gives that reason why he was actually the name giver to all the Zanpaktou spirits individually. So he says, after Nimaya creates a Zanpaktou, and it is given to a Shinigami, it is first given to, I guess, Ichibei, and Ichibei gives it a name before passing it on to one of the Shinigami. Alright, so a couple of flaws I have with this. Number one, we were always told that the Zanpaktou is born with the Shinigami. Now, later on with Nimaya, we found out that was false. So I'm like, okay. But here's my problem with this. What about the Zanpaktou, like with Kenpachi Zaraki, who didn't get it from Nimaya, or didn't receive an Aosachi directly to him? He just picked it up off a corpse. So does that mean, like, the Zanpaktou that Kenpachi picked up off the corpse had the name of whatever it's going to be named, and it was supposed to be meant for that some completely other Shinigami? Because I always thought, like, Shinigami are supposed to be bonded to their swords, so... Like, this is really just messing me up, because we were always told Aosachi are just blank slate Zanpaktous, and when they bond with their Shinigami enough, they become sentient, they have their own soul, and they have a name. But now we're finding out they get a name before they're actually bonded with a Shinigami. They get a name while they're still Aosachi. And I'm just trying to wrap my head around that, so maybe you get it, maybe I don't. But, I mean, I'm not going to, like, tread on it this much in this chapter, because, honestly, a bunch of other cool shit happens in this chapter to move on to, but, yeah, just a little bit confusing here, but I guess at the end of the day, I don't know, maybe Ichibei was just smoking some weed up there in the Soul Palace. I mean, the dude's up there naming shit all the time. I mean, it doesn't seem like a really tough job, bro. I'm sorry, so, I don't know.
I'm so f***ing high right now!
Anyway, regardless of any potential dupage in the Fifth Palace, he does tell Renji that he's become so much stronger through his training that he should deserve the, to be told the actual name of his Bankai, Zabimaru. I guess Zabimaru is in fact the Shikai name. I guess that was completely accurate. Maybe that's why his Zanpaktou didn't change when it was in Shikai form. So, we cut back to the present where Renji finally announces his true Bankai's name. Now, here, Bankai! Sou Zabimaru, translated to the twin serpent kingtail. And this summons not only the gauntlet on Renji's right hand that has the snake head with the sword, but it also summons a kind of like a small baboon arm, like skeletal baboon arm on his left arm. And also the sword that it comes out of his Zanpaktou's gauntlet isn't like his Shikai. It resembles more of Ichigo's Fullbring sword than anything else, except it's less curved at the end. It doesn't really resemble much of a trench knife like Ichigo's sword does, but looks pretty badass. Alright, so we're only about page 13 into this chapter, and I'm pretty sure after everybody saw that, instantly just creamed their jeans and said, okay, Mask is fucked. Like, he's royally fucked. There's nothing he can do here. Not even regarding the fact that, James is now gone, or at least maybe it's going to take him a while to come back. So, Mask is up there, and he's not really impressed, honestly. He's just looking down at this new form, and he's just like, yeah, that's quite an interesting weapon you got there, but my heart is being with overconsumed desire. You will be crushed if you stand here in the sake of justice. Star Dive Bomb Attack! Wow, okay, jeez. Dude, I'm not a doctor or anything, but I think you should get that checked out. I think your arm has a couple more corners than necessary. This is not a problem. I'll simply use my Herculean strength to break free of this bomb. Wow. And it's right about here, a very interesting part in the chapter. You can actually pinpoint the exact moment where Master Masculine has a flashback to all the moments in his life and realizes the one ultimate question that we've all been wondering the entire chapter. He's questioning his very existence in this one panel right here. And that one question that springs into his mind: why the fuck am I dressed like a luchador when the Germans are the motive for the Quincy's? And Renji around this moment also realizes that he's basically become the embodiment of the typical shonen badass archetype. Quietly states, Orochi-O, Serpent King, charges into Master Masculine, extends his sword, which transforms into something that's more akin to his Shikai form, stabs him right through the freaking stomach, grabs him, summons a badass freaking viper mouth in over the air around Master Masculine. So Zabimaru, taste the kiss of the viper, bitch! Zagatepo! Whoa, okay. Just gotta collect myself. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, there are a few times in our lives when our sarcastic quips can literally transcend the binding of just simple words that we use to make fun of people in our everyday life, and they actually become something much more in the realms of so much cruel irony. So, I would like you to say with me what I think we're all thinking right now. 3, 2, 1. Burned! Oh yeah, Renji, I knew you had it in you. You turned that luchador pansy into fried crispy bacon. That is how it's done! Oh, I'm so proud of you. Oh, what's going on here? That villain totally kicked my ass. Who the hell are you? Oh shit, you're the captain. Bankai, fuck. Yamaji, would you please cut that crap out? I'm the one that has to extinguish all that freaking fire. This is a classic case of burning yourself out. You can kick back and relax now, Mr. Superstar. Oh, bam, snap, and you try coming back from that. You try coming back from that. Oh, what's up? You can't? James isn't around? He's not gonna cheer and assemble your atoms back together in the perfect way to bring you back to a human form? No, you are burnt crispy bacon. I have your ashes right here, bitch. Look at you. This is you. This is Sternritter S, the Superstar, right here. Oh, yeah. Oh god, you're so tasty. Oh my god, I'm gonna eat you up. This is fucking amazing. Oh my god, 4 freaking chapters of nothing but your bullshit resurrection powers. All amounts to this, Superstar. All amounts to this. Oh man. I think I'm gonna wash it down with some of James, too. Oh! Tastes like freaking nothing. Because guess what? James is nothing. Okay. So, that's the end of the chapter. You know what? That was actually pretty good. I'm going to keep drinking this. That's the end of the chapter. So big revelation, of course, at Renji's new appearance of his Zanpaktou. Now, I think there's a couple of questions here that we're all popping into our minds. Number one, what other Bankais have not achieved their full potential? Number two, since Ichigo was the only person to not achieve an Asauchi through normal means with Nimaya, he also would assume he's the only Zanpaktou that hasn't been named by Ichibei, so therefore is Zangetsu even his real name? Where did Zangetsu even come from? Was it a name that, you know, the Quincy and like Quincy Juha Bach inside of Ichigo just came up with out of a hat? It's like, well, it's a black sword and it shoots out an energy beam that's like the moon, so I'm just gonna call it Zangetsu. Why not, right? You know, so that's a question there. Is Ichigo's Bankai going to have a new additional name here? But, you know, that's just speculation stuff. So the stuff that actually went down in this chapter with Renji's Bankai, I actually think it made a lot of sense, and here's why. Some of you might be thinking that, like, maybe Hihio Zabimaru, or I guess I should just say Zabimaru from now on. Zabimaru was just kind of playing with Renji. Maybe he wasn't telling him because he didn't trust him. I think it was the opposite of that. Renji stated that, you know, Ichigo, that him and Zabimaru had been fighting for years, and this is true. It's his Zanpaktou. So I think Zabimaru knows more than anybody exactly what Renji's potential is. And at the time when he achieved Bankai the first time back against Byakuya, he wasn't ready yet. Zabimaru was aware, like, okay, you did good, Renji, you got so much stronger after fighting Ichigo, but I know you still got more in you, bro. I know you still have it more in you, so I'm only going to give you half of my Bankai's name, which was Hihio Zabimaru. And I honestly think that makes a lot of sense, because, I mean, look at this. I mean, we have, here is his Zanpaktou spirit. This is his in-canon Zanpaktou spirit, not the hot chick with a nice rack, but I wish, but whatever. So, canon, we got this. This appeared, we've known this forever. This first appeared after his fight with Ichigo, okay? It's the appearance of a baboon with a snake's tail, and they both have separate personalities. And then one wonders, after gaining his Bankai, which is apparently the highest level of a Zanpaktou's release, all we get is a representation of his snake form, not of the baboon. So, you know, I mean, his baboon bone canon, but I mean, that's only really the only reference there. And then, you know, we don't really get any reference to the baboon. But then here, when we get his Bankai release, it takes the form of a snake on one hand, like the snake gauntlet thing, and then we get the appearance of, like, the disembodied hand that kind of moves around, kind of like what Koma's Shikai Bankai can do with Tokujo Tengen Myo. So, one has to wonder, maybe he uses this new Bankai in essentially the same way as he does with his old one. We basically have, like, him being able to, like, manipulate it the same way, like, except it's removing the whole control method. Like, before it was like a whip that he had, like, an extension of his Shikai where he had to control and, like, get the timing just right in order to attack. Here, I think it's something just more like, okay, he doesn't have to control anything because it's his own body. It's extension of himself, which, hey, if you look at it, maybe a lot of Bankais like that, like, go into that vein, just becoming part of the human being or part of the Shinigami, of course, because that's what Ichigo's is, of course. You know, the whole, the blade is me thing. Like, it's not a separate entity, it is you. So, just makes more sense with Renji. Maybe if all Zanpaktous were awakened in the same way that Ichigo's and Renji's were in the Soul Palace, maybe they would all take on a similar form to that. You know, more like a close, like an armor or like an extension type deal instead of, you know, these crazy out there effects. Or like something big, like a big monster thing like Renji's was. You know, so maybe even Byakuya's is different now. Byakuya's up there in the training with the Soul Palace. I mean, I'm not going to go into the speculation with Rukia right now. I could argue that forever if she has a Bankai right now. But Byakuya's might be definitely changed. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on Ichibei's exact nature involving the naming of things, you know, because I was a little bit confused on that, exactly where the names of the Zanpaktou come in. Like, I thought Asachi were blank slates. I didn't think they had names. I didn't think the names came along until after, you know, the Shinigami awakened them. Where's the whole point of the Zanpaktou having an individual soul if its name has to be given to it from someone else? Although, I suppose, you know, everybody has to get a name from somewhere. Like, when we're babies, we don't choose our name. It's just given to us by our parents, the same way our parents' names were given to us by our grandparents. So, yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. But just the whole Aosauchi thing, you know, giving a name to it, you know, so pre-designation before the Zanpaktous even picked up and bonded to a Shinigami, that just seems a little bit weird to me. But anyway, I've been talking long enough, so hope you enjoyed. Tekking101 signing out. Feast upon the ashes of the fallen, my friends.